As part of our ongoing discussion on relationship, reconciliation, and healing, today we want to look at a relationship with your ex. Relationship with your ex. Not every relationship goes the way we plan. We come across great people, wonderful people who touch our lives in special ways. We meet people who give us reasons to believe in life and love. We meet angels in human form who make you feel special, loved, and cared for. They tick all the boxes of your dream man and woman, and you want to spend the rest of your lives with them. However, our reality is such that many of these relationships go south for many reasons, some of which are truly laughable. But then, it is not easy to say goodbye. That is why such breakups could leave you devastated, lonely, dissatisfied, with a feeling of being ugly and unlovable, feeling of loss, feeling of being used and dumped. And for some, such breakups make life meaningless and boring. After breakup, the person with whom you shared this great friendship and intimacy becomes an ex. Yes, an ex. They are called ex for a reason. This person was once a very important part of your life. As a matter of fact, he or she was at the center of your life. And that explains why sometimes it could be difficult for you to let go. Therefore, you try to hold on to such relationship in one way or the other. And I would want to ask, could there be genuine reasons to keep in touch with your ex, especially after marriage? Could there be a reason why your ex should remain your best friend after marriage? This video is aimed at describing what your relationship with your ex should possibly be, especially after marriage. Again, what I am going to say would make sense to you if you truly want to heal, move on, and have a fulfilling marriage relationship with your spouse without undue drama occasioned by keeping in touch with your ex. In the first place, if your ex was an angel, why did you end it? If your ex was the best, why did you end it? Why did the two of you end it? Whatever caused the breakup revealed that perhaps he or she was not what you needed at that time, or the relationship was no longer serving its purpose. This does not take away from the fact that there could be outright cases of false accusation, blackmail, peer pressure, misguided judgment, and what have you. Whatever is the case, he or she has become an ex and should remain so, especially if you are in a marriage relationship with another person. Again, making your ex your best friend or your confidant could be very destructive to your marriage. These are my reasons. Number one, it will make it difficult for you to focus on your marriage because the memory the two of you created, the memory of the past, the beautiful memories you created will remain afresh in your mind. And for the fact that you keep in touch with him or with her, It keeps playing over and over again. And sometimes he or she would want to remind you of those times. And if you're not careful, you would want to go back to where you have left. Again, it brings about unnecessary comparison between your ex and the person you are married to. No person is perfect. Your ex isn't perfect, and your husband or your wife is not perfect. But being in constant communication with your ex could make you always compare your husband or your wife with your ex. And funny enough, some of the weaknesses of your husband or your wife could be the strength of your ex. So for the fact that you are in constant communication with him, it reminds you of the inadequacies of your spouse, and you would start seeing those inadequacies from a very different point of view. And sometimes you blow them out of proportion. This brings about unnecessary and constant argument in marriage. And if care is not taken, you would want to fill up those inadequacies, the gap created by those inadequacies. It provides false security. Your ex is your ex. Face your family, build your home. If he or she loved you and couldn't spend his life without you, why didn't he marry you? Why didn't she marry you? And if you're going back to your ex, you are going back as a side chick or a side guy. Because for whatever it's worth, you are no longer the main person. So why not focus and build your home? Why not be a queen or a king in your home, in your kingdom, and build your kingdom instead of following around someone who at one point or the other left you for another? Remaining in close contact with your ex would make it difficult for you to heal properly, especially if the breakup was not mutual. Move on and allow yourself to heal. What has happened has happened. The fact that you had a failed relationship does not make you a devil. It does not make you irredeemable. It simply means that the part he or she played in your life has come to an end. And you should know when it is time to say goodbye and move. Do not keep reopening a wound that should be healed. Let the sleeping dog lie. It can also lead to a loss of self-esteem because you keep comparing yourself with the person he or she is with. What does she have that I do not have? Why did you leave me for him or for her? We are gifted differently. And if he left you or if she left you for another person, it simply means that he or she felt that he or she found someone better than you are. If that is the case, why do you want to go back? Do yourself a favor. Move on. It is a sign of respect and not pride. I am yet to see a husband or a wife that is at peace when his or her spouse is in constant communication with his or her ex. Most, if not all, spouses are not comfortable with it because it is a sure sign of great misunderstanding waiting to happen and capable of damaging your marriage. So why risk the peace in your home for someone whom you left? Why go back to someone whom you left or someone who left you? Again, being in constant communication with your spouse, especially after marriage, it brings about suspicion and lack of trust in marriage. Most spouses would ask, what does your ex have that I do not have? What does he or she do for you that I cannot do for you? And at that point, it becomes difficult for you to explain why you should remain in constant communication with your ex, especially when your spouse is not at peace with it. Do not allow your past to damage your present and make your future sorrowful. Your ex has his or her life. Therefore, let your ex breathe. Allow him or her to build his or her home. Or would you want to destroy his or her family? Except you're a sadist or some upcoming witch or wizard. Give him space. Give her space. They have moved on. Do same. Stop crying over a spilled milk. Your umbilical cord isn't tied to him or her. You had a life before they came. You have a life even as they have left. So why not face your life and make that life worth living? Truth be told, some exes use the other for some personal benefits. It could be financial or emotional. But then sometimes they color it as love. If your ex is generous and wants to help you, let this generosity be made known to and acceptable to. Let this generosity be made known to your spouse and let him or her accept this act of kindness. Personally, I would discourage running to your ex for financial assistance or any form of assistance. Why? Because it is capable of reviving what should remain dead. If, however, for some grave reasons, you must run to your ex for assistance of whatever kind or type, your spouse must be in the know and he or she must approve of it. This way, it gives you more security because you are no longer going behind your ex. You are no longer going behind your spouse to ask for something from your ex. Remember, if you keep talking to your ex, asking something from your ex, getting money from your ex behind your spouse, you are at greater risk of being blackmailed. You are at greater risk of going back to what you left. If you do not want to start a extramarital affair, please keep your ex at arm's length. Old firewood, they catch fire. Remember Okafor's law. Once laid, always layable. But before you start telling me how disciplined you are, how strong you are, remember you have history with this person. Remember you created sweet memories with this person. Remember you had a past. And every person has a mumu button. And your ex knows your mumu button and how to press it. You see? So avoid what is avoidable. It is better to be safe than to be sorry. Avoid what you can avoid so that you do not blame the devil. You don't accuse the devil of being responsible for your irresponsibility. You cannot change the past. You cannot turn back the hand of time. Let the past remain in the past. Stop trying so hard to turn your spouse into your ex. They are two separate persons and can never be the same. Give them time, love, and attention, and allow yourself the freedom of creating beautiful memories with your spouse. Instead of running off and always reminiscing on the memories you created with your ex, why not create those memories with your husband or your wife? Have I said your ex should be your enemy? I have not said so. Have I said you shouldn't talk to your ex? I have not said so. But I'm saying that you should be reasonable enough to understand that there is time for everything. The time for your ex has come to an end. Use the time you have, use the present to build your home so as to avoid regrets in the future. To this effect, I would say your ex should never be your best friend or your confidant, especially if you are married.